Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see this outside your house while you're camping, you better run away and hide. I'm going to show you why in this video right now. We're going to be watching an amazing reaction, which is going to tell you all about why if you see something creepy in the forest at night, you should never ever approach it, and you should never ever go camping in a forest like that at night. Stay tuned. We'll see y'all when we're here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. I am terrified and I'm not ready for this. Sit back, relax, get some popcorn, and enjoy. This has seemed creepy already. Look at the freaking campfire.
My buddies went camping last summer alongside the Willamette River. We actually had a decent
I haven't seen this yet, by the way.
Woods. We did some night fishing, listening to music, and basically drank to the point where everything was funny later in the night.
That's why you don't drink.
I guess we finally
exactly
called it a
why.
night somewhere past 2 a.m. I shared a tent with one of my buds, while the other two shared another tent. We heard them laughing about something. At first we laughed at the sound of their laughing, but it soon got annoying and we yelled for them to shut up. One of them responded, "It isn't us." I sat up, startled at the response. I came to realize
hell
that
no.
the sound of only
this
one
is what you're
person
saying. Like, these creatures can mimic voices.
Laughing, and it didn't sound like either one of my friends. Even in my drunk state, I realized how odd it was for somebody to be out this far in the woods so late at night. The laughing gradually got closer and louder to our campout.
Just realized my closet.
Friend shot up and looked at me with a worried look on his face.
Can literally leave it open.
I heard my
Hold on, guys. Literally, I have a closet right here that's impossible to be open right now because there's so much stuff. Imagine if something just pops out of here. Okay, I'm closing that. Let's continue.
Scream over to us that they were getting freaked out. As the laughing got even closer, I could make it out very clearly to be the laugh of a male, probably in his 30s or 40s. He sounded like he was as drunk as us, messing around with friends, but we only heard his laugh, nobody else.
Dude, look at the shadow
there was
on the
something
freaking tent.
indescribably
Holy
creepy about his
crap.
laugh too, as if it was missing something to it. You had to be there to understand what I mean. The laughing was now just at the edge of our campsite.
Oh my gosh.
But we couldn't hear any footsteps at all. Now that may not seem like a big deal. It was impossible to move through that
That
without
is
making
scary.
noise.
Dude, just imagine if you're in the forest at night and you're sitting in a camping tent and you have friends and you say stop laughing and you're like, it wasn't us, and then you hear footsteps or whatever they just said. That is so freaking terrifying.
All of a sudden,
yeah, just like I was saying, I'll be sleeping in the car.
Stopped completely. We had no idea where whoever that was standing, as he hadn't made a single stepping sound. We sat there in silence looking at each other. My friend was clearly freaking out, but he was keeping it together the best he could.
Oh my god.
Finally, something broke the silence. The sound of something rubbing against the cottony fabric of the tent.
Someone's outside. Holy shit! Something is right outside the tent.
We both screamed.
Yeah, this is why if you see this, you never ever stay. You never stay.
As fast as we could through the woods.
Yeah, you guys should probably sleep in the car. You guys should probably sleep in the car. Like, I'll be out.
After about 5 minutes of running, we somehow found our car. I actually puked from running so much before taking the wheel.
Holy
shit. I don't condone drinking and driving, but I still believe we were just in this situation.
Probably got running sick.
No idea who or what the hell that was, or what they wanted.
Wow. That is honestly nuts. That's only a 3-minute video, but I am honestly shocked, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm gonna play another video, because I did not realize it was that short, but stay tuned, because there's gonna be more crazy stories coming up.
It's 5 in the morning!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second video, so be sure to stay, because this one is even scarier than the last one. Oh, look at that fireplace.
I've never been much of an outdoor person, but the summer after my second year in college, one of my roommates convinced me to go tent camping with him. It was only over the weekends, and I wasn't doing anything anyway, so I said I'd go with him.
Dude, imagine being in a car with your friend, you're about to go to a campsite, and you don't realize what is about to happen, that you're about to almost die. It's insane, dude.
For the sake of privacy, I'll call him Jake. Now, Jake would go all out. He had a 2014 Jeep Wrangler, the entire back seat filled almost completely with different camping gear. He didn't like to reserve spots at actual campsites, but instead find his own spots, which he said made it more fun. We drove up into the Rocky Mountains for a while until we found a break in the trees with enough space to fit the Jeep through. We then drove off-road between trees until I pointed out a good spot. We set up a fire pit, chairs, and the tent we'd be staying in for the night. It was already around 7 p.m. and the sun was starting to set. Jake went to the car and pulled out a bag of hot dogs for us to cook over the fire. Real original, I know, but they were an easy meal, and plus Jake wanted to give me the true camping experience, seeing it was my first time. He even brought stuff for s'mores. Although, we never got that far. As we were cooking the hot dogs, this extremely loud female screaming from maybe 300 or 400 feet away echoed out throughout the trees. I looked up and saw Jake's head turn around behind him towards the direction of the screams. At first, there weren't any words we could make out, but then there was a help, a please,
terrifying.
and a no, all of them sounding more desperate than the last. Then, the loudest, most terrifying scream was abruptly cut off mid-scream.
Holy crap, a scream?
Jake
That's
looked back
nuts.
in my direction. The look on his face was pure horror. As far as we knew, the closest man-made structure was the road, and even that was far away. No one should have been out here.
Literally in the
Whatever
middle of the
it was
woods.
that we just heard didn't
Imagine if you're in the middle of the woods and you just hear screaming. Like, once again, I'll be sleeping in the car. I'd be like, nope, no thank you.
even matter.
I'm out.
We knew we needed to leave as fast as possible. We started frantically throwing things in the back of the Jeep. We stuffed the still fully made tent inside as we closed the door. I tried calling 911 as we started driving back to the road. I had practically no service out there, but somehow still managed to get on the line with an operator.
Wow.
I did my best to explain what we heard, and they said they'd send out a trooper as soon as possible. It probably took us twice as long to get back to the road, just because this time we couldn't see anything. Finally, we saw the pavement, and stopped for a second. We didn't know if we should wait for the cops or not. That's when we saw a figure walking out from the trees in front of us. He was wearing jeans with an all-black sweatshirt.
No! Heck nah!
He was dragging something behind him in a heavy sheet or some kind of bag. His head was down, laying almost limp as he walked. He looked over in our direction when blue and red police lights revealed themselves down the road. The man turned his head and started sprinting back into the forest, letting go of the bag.
Shit,
Police
they're not
saw
gonna
this
catch
and
him.
started chasing after him.
Oh, the police saw it.
The bag he was
Wow.
dragging turned out to contain the remains of a 34-year-old woman.
Holy
We don't know if he was
crap.
alive.
Dude, imagine. Holy
So,
crap.
this
Alright,
happened
here's
when I
the
was in
second
middle school.
story. Story
It
number
was
2.
summer, and my parents had signed me up for a month-long all-boys summer camp. The campsite was exactly what you're imagining.
Oh my
6 or
gosh.
7 small cabins spread out in the forest. There was a small lake, a few fire pits set up,
Holy
and I think there was even a sand
crap.
volleyball court if I'm remembering right. It was close to 4 hours out of town. The place was old and run down, but definitely still used often for summer camps. When we got there, I unpacked all my stuff into one of the cabins and set up my
Swear to
bed.
God.
Some of the kids I'd be staying with wanted to check out the forest before we'd have to be back for dinner. The rules of the camp were pretty laid back. We were told we could go as far as
I'm
we
honestly
wanted, as long as we
very
could still
shocked.
see the cabins. As we were walking into the forest, one of the kids pointed something out, or rather someone. A man who
There
had
we
to be
go.
over 50 years old stood a few yards away looking in our direction. He looked almost homeless, really unkempt, dirty clothes, a rough gray beard. We ultimately just assumed he was one of the camp counselors. The guy gave us a weird smile, and I gave him an awkward wave
Oh,
back.
hell no.
We ran back to our cabin, and later that night told one of the camp counselors about it. They took it very seriously, even going out to that part of the woods themselves, but by then the guy was
Wow.
gone. We started to realize that a large portion of the camp counselors were teenagers. No one was older than like 30. They didn't tell us straight to our faces, but it didn't seem like they had any idea who that man was. The next few
That
days,
is
we didn't do
creepy.
much more exploring.
Dude, imagine you're just in the woods and you see a random guy and he just walks off and gives you a weird, like, demonic, like, smile. Like, I swear, that would give me the freaking creeps.
We were still pretty creeped out, to be honest with you. It was on the 4th night when things really hit the fan.
Alright, guys, so if you didn't notice that in the last scenes of the video, if you didn't notice in the last clips, I put my face cam out of view. That's because for some reason on this camera, it's a weird glitch that, like, it only lets you keep the display on for a certain amount of time. It doesn't let you keep it on permanent, so I have to keep switching it back on and off. Now, that's not a big issue, but that's going to happen in a little bit of the videos until I get a new camera, because that's just an annoying problem to deal with. But I will definitely fix that. But let's continue.
Beating on my while I'm in jail.
Imagine that shit. That's
After maybe
terrifying.
5 minutes, the
I said imagine like 15 times.
once again returned to silence.
Oh
We stayed awake
my
until
gosh.
morning. Finally, one of the teenage counselors came to our cabin to wake us up for breakfast. Right away, we told him what happened, and he stopped. He took us to a couple of the adult counselors where we retold the story. What we heard next was something that truly terrified us. Last night, a kid from a different cabin had gone for a walk to use the bathroom. As he was heading back, he noticed someone at our cabin door. Like us, he at first thought it was a counselor, but questioned this when he saw the person trying to pick the lock. The kid was asked to describe the man.
Oh,
It was
no.
dark, however, he remembered him
Hell
having a beard and
no.
wearing dirty clothes.
Imagine that you're in the bathroom and you lock the door and someone's trying to freaking get in. That's creepy.
This instantly reminded me of the man we had seen in the forest on the first day. The entire camp immediately got canceled in concern of kids' safety. That afternoon, a bus showed up and took all of us back home.
Holy crap.
Many years have passed since this happened. I recently did my own research and was able to find a small report on it. Police were called in after we had left. They combed the area and found a small tent nearby. Inside were the essentials, along
What?
with hundreds of Polaroid pictures of the camp.
Holy crap. A
cabins, the
freaking
canoes,
stalker.
the
He was
fire
taking
pits,
pictures.
everything.
You're like taking
Among these
pictures.
were pictures of the
of
kids,
the freaking
most of them
camp.
taken from a
That's
distance,
nuts.
or in a place where the man taking them was clearly trying to hide. Most disturbing were the pictures taken at night through cabin windows. The police waited for someone to return to the tent, but no one ever
Holy
did.
shit. Did I just realize it's literally
man was
11
never
o'clock in the
found.
morning? And my dad literally comes at 6 every Friday. I feel like it's like 5
It
o'clock
was
right now.
approaching the end of summer, and my wife and I
Winter, dude. I hate winter. Leave a like if you want winter to be gone.
wanted to go on a camping trip.
Alright, that
before
was
it
the end of
started
that.
getting cold out
Story 3.
I
That
had a
was
ton of
honestly
camping gear left
creepy.
over from
Just
when I used to go on
imagine that.
college
That is
runs and wanted to put
sick.
it back
Like,
to use.
if I was in a camp and I heard that people were stalking, and then I ran into a guy and I heard that they were stalking me behind my back, I would honestly be like, fall into a shock and not come out for like 15 days. So, you better be lucky, because, better be lucky. What the hell is that?
There was one spot we always used to go. It wasn't even technically a camping ground, just a cool spot we had found one time that I thought would be perfect to take my wife.
It's good. Be there instead of a
When
camp,
we
because
got
the
there,
camp's
we
where
noticed
you
a
all
makeshift
see
fire
all the
pit
weird
and some
shit.
trash.
Look at this dude.
So obviously other people had found this spot, but we didn't really care. We set up the tent we'd be staying in and started a fire. We sat around the fire talking and drinking for hours on end. Suddenly, at around 2 a.m., we were interrupted by the sound of a
What if I
chainsaw
go
starting and
behind
revving
me?
up.
Like someone's gonna be behind me in my pile of crap. Well, it's not really a pile of crap, it's just my closet that I'm trying
Or
to set
at
up.
least that's exactly what it sounded like. Our first
What
thought
the
was that someone was
hell?
cutting down a tree, but we didn't understand why
What?
someone would be doing that this
Someone's
late in the
cutting down a
night.
freaking tree?
This theory was quickly thrown.
Could be Siren Head. Siren Head can mimic noises of people cutting down trees if he wanted to. Am I right? if this is Siren Head, what would you guys... If this actually was Siren Head, what would you think? Holy shit, that's like a fucking clown. Holy crap. That's terrifying.
We put out the fire and got inside our tent. It sounded distant, so we felt somewhat safe.
Dude.
Plus, we had a machete if it really came to that.
What the... A machete?
Over the
What?
next few minutes,
A
it honestly
machete?
sounded like the
Oh my
noises were
god,
getting
this hair in my
closer.
freaking eye.
The
Freaking
engine,
machete, holy
whatever
crap,
it
that's
was,
terrifying.
abruptly cut
Can you
out, and a
imagine?
wave of
It's
relief
nuts.
overcame us. After a half hour of silence, the two of us felt comfortable enough to try and fall asleep. And surprisingly, we actually did relatively quickly, most likely in part due to the drinks we had earlier. I don't know what
Everyone
time it
always
was,
drinks at
but
camps,
some
and it
point during
always
the
has...
night, I remember
when you
opening
drink
my
at
eyes,
camps...
confused as to what woke me.
When you drink at camps, and when you drink in general, it brings bad luck. Is that right? Tell me in the comments below if I'm right. I honestly don't even know.
As my senses were coming back to me, the sound of footsteps filled my ears. I sat up to listen better, and noticed my wife had already done the same. We sat there looking at each other.
Nothing to see here.
Sets of footsteps. It sounded like no more than 20 yards away. My wife suggested we make a run for the car. I told her we should.
Yeah,
wait a
you're
few
definitely
minutes.
gonna have to run in the
It
car.
was light out that night from the moon. and
Just
behind
leave the
her, I could
camping
see
gear
the
behind.
silhouettes of
Take your
3 men on the
laptop, your
tent wall.
backpack, and your shit, and
I
just
didn't
leave
tell
the
her
tent
this. The last thing I wanted
behind.
to do was scare her.
You can always come get it in the
I
morning.
did get a firm grip on the machete laying next to us.
Oh, the
Although I
machete.
was horrified at the thought of actually having to use it on someone.
Well,
sat there
sometimes
watching
you
the
might have
shadows.
to.
Seconds felt like hours.
Well, actually, you technically shouldn't. You
Finally,
should just
after
threaten
what
them
was
with it
realistically
because...
only a couple minutes, I
I
saw
mean,
them
yeah,
walk
it would
off.
be counted as self-defense,
This
but
was our
they
chance.
take it as like
told
a
my
little
wife it was time
harsh,
to
and
go.
that would not be good.
We opened the tent and we full-on sprinted to the car. I've never been
Oh,
more
hell yeah.
thankful to have a remote start key fob. I started the engine as we were
Yeah,
running,
that's
and
what I'm
right as we
saying.
got
When you always do ghost hunting, you should always have a remote start car. Always. Because if you need to start it in an emergency and you have to start it very fast, like you can easily just remote start it. And if it's a push button start, all you do is just remote start it from out there, and you throw the shit in the back, you just get in, throw it and drive and go. You don't even have to put the key in the ignition like the older remote starts. You just press the lock button, remote start, and you're good to go. It's honestly worth it. I mean, it's not mandatory, but you should have it. I mean, remote start's cool. Like, come on. Is it always my dream to, when I get my first car when I'm 18, to always have a remote start my car? Like, come on!
That's when I told my wife about the shadows on the tent wall, and she laid into me for not telling her earlier.
Wow.
We spent the night in a hotel. The next morning we went back to the camp. All of our stuff was gone. Not a single thing was left behind. I still don't know what really went down that night. A part of me thinks we were just unknowingly on someone else's private property, and that was their sick way of getting us off of it. But it's possible those people meant real harm to us.
That's nuts.
Either way, they now have all of our camping gear. However, I don't see us going camping again anytime soon.
Honestly, I would go camping again. It's just, you shouldn't camp in the worst possible areas in the country. Especially do not camp in the Appalachian Mountains, because that is the absolute worst. If you ever go to the Appalachian Mountains, you consider yourself lucky that you don't die, because guess what? The Appalachian Mountains is filled with stalkers. Literally, there was a video of someone in the Appalachian Mountains where there was a dude who was black that he said he saw crossing the train tracks, and if you enhance the footage, you can see it clearly. You can see the dude walking across the train tracks. I'm literally shivering while saying that, but that's true. The Appalachian Mountains is weird, and there are creeps hanging out there. There's homeless peoples, roaches, freaking roaches. Why the urban legends like sheep squash, other people live there, and it's just honestly a terrifying place. And honestly, I wouldn't mind living in the Pocono Mountains, but not the Appalachian Mountains. So yeah, guys, I hope you did enjoy that video. It was a pretty short video, but I just needed to get something out for you guys to keep you guys entertained for this week. Also, next week is going to be, it's February break. It's now February. There's a lot of stuff going on, but next week we are going to be uploading a new Minecraft video that you're not going to want to miss, because it's something we've never done before on this channel. at least from what I haven't done. So stay tuned, and I'll see y'all in a brand new video. Peace out. Next time. Bye.
Raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe